All right, hello everybody, and this is going to be my 2022 Senate predictions for as of June 16th, 2021. These are my current Senate predictions, and let's just get right into it. So first, I'm going to set up all the safe states. So New York, Vermont, Maryland. These are not going to be competitive at all, by the way. Utah, Mountain States, South. Alaska, you could argue, is going to be competitive, but I really doubt it. I mean, they always say Alaska's going to be close, and it's like by over 10 points, so yeah, it's safe. I think that's all the states. Let's just get into my reasoning serum. So, Colorado, we're going to start off straight off the bat. Safe state. Biden won the state by over 10 points. I really don't see it being competitive at all for Republicans. I feel like it's a waste of time if they're actually going to put in like effort into this state. But that's part of their like targeting. They're targeting this state for some reason in one of their emails they sent. So I really don't know what they're doing there. I feel like that's a really dumb idea. Way to waste resources. Illinois, they're also targeting, which is kind of laughable. I mean, you really think you're going to flip Illinois? I mean, Chicago is kind of most of the state, and that kind of decides it all. It's going to be another safe state. Biden won this by around 20 points. I mean, maybe a little bit less than 20 points, but still, it's by a giant margin. I don't see it being competitive at all. They're just wasting their time here. Missouri, I'm going to categorize as likely. Here's why. Eric Greitens, the former Republican governor here, he resigned, right? Over a bunch of scandals that came out about him. So if he becomes the Republican senator here for their primary, it's really bad because it could be very competitive as the polling shows. It's with the under 10 points, which means I'll just categorize as likely for now. We'll have to see though. It could go to solid, like not even close though. It could go to a safe Republican state. We'll have to see, but for now, I'm just gonna do it as likely. I'm gonna be safe. Iowa. Chuck Grassley runs, it'll probably be safe or likely. I'm only saying likely for now, though, mainly because there was a poll that came out that said the majority of Iowans didn't want they wanted someone new. They didn't want Chuck Grassley in again. But I really doubt that they're not going to elect a Democrat, especially in a 2022 midterm year, which midterm years are usually good for the opposite political party that's not in power. So the Republicans. I'm just going to categorize it likely for now. It's a pretty safe assumption. Florida. Florida, I would do as a likely state because Marco Rubio is a pretty strong senator. I mean, in a midterm year, the Republicans knocked out a Democrat in 2018, so this year should be favorable to Republican as history shows. I mean, they should probably stay in power in Florida, especially with Marco Rubio. He's a strong candidate. Expect him in my likely margin, even though Val Demings, a strong Democrats running against him. It's probably not going to make it that competitive. It's not really going to happen. All right, New Hampshire. New Hampshire is an interesting case you expected me to put as likely because Biden won that state by a likely margin in 2020, but I'm going to make it as a lean for now. Mainly because of Chris Sununu. He's a popular Republican governor of New Hampshire. He won by a landslide in 2020. He might win by a landslide again if he decides to run for re-election for governor there. It's really up to his decision, Chris Sununu, if he wants to run for governor again or run for New Hampshire Senate. Either one could happen. We'll have to see. If he does run, I'll probably shift it to tilt Republican or even lean Republican because that's what the polling shows. He's very popular, very strong, could win it. But for now, I'm going to be safe and just categorize as lean Democrat. We really don't know his intentions yet. Ohio, I'm doing it as a lean margin. Here's why. So Tim Ryan is running here. He's from an Ohio district, probably around somewhere in Ohio. There's not a lot of Democratic districts there. There's like one here, one in the middle, one there, and one there. But Tim Ryan, he's running for Senate here. He's a strong candidate for Ohio. He's pretty popular. That's why it's going to a lean margin instead of a likely margin. Plus, it's an open seat, so Rob Portman retired because of partisan gridlock, he says. So it's an open state, so it's anyone's game here in Ohio, but I'm just going to put it as a lean margin for now. We'll have to see what comes out. It could go to likely, or it could even shift to tilt, or even go to tilt Democrat. It could go either one, you know? But for now, I'm just going to keep it as a lean. Nevada. Nevada, I would say, is a lean margin. Some people put it as a likely margin, but I'm putting as a lean mainly because it's a 2022 midterm year. It's going to be possibly favorable to Republicans. So New Hampshire, well, Nevada, I mean, could be close. We'll have to see. Arizona. Arizona, I would categorize as a lean margin because of Mark Kelly's running. Mark Kelly's a popular Democratic senator. He won his election in 2020, and he'll probably win re-election in 2022. I mean, the Republicans don't have a lot of good candidates running here in the Republican primary, so it's going to be really hard to knock Mark Kelly out, considering he's very popular here in the state. Next state I'm going to be rating is North Carolina. I'm going to put that as a tilt margin, but here's why. So, in North Carolina, Pat McCrory is running the Republican primary. He was a former Republican governor. He lost re-election. And there's Ted Bundy, who was endorsed by Trump. So far, Pat McCrory is leading in the polls. If he does win it, that'll probably be good for Democrats. They beat him once before. They could probably beat him again with their candidates of Cherry Beasley or Jeff Jackson. Those are two very popular Democratic candidates, and they're pretty energetic. So it could flip, but for now, to be safe, my categorization, put it tilt Republican. Next thing I'm going to do is Georgia. Georgia, I'm going to make a tilt Democrat. That gives the Democrats their Senate control, but here's why. The new voter restriction bill pretty much shifted this race from lean Democrat to tilt Democrat. A Republican governor here signed that bill, so it makes voting a bit harder. Requires an ID and other stuff, especially all these, especially on a line when you're voting. You apparently can't serve drinks to people online anymore, which is kind of odd, but yeah, but for now I'm just going to put it as tilt Democrat because the Republicans don't really have a lot of good candidates running there. You really think you're going to unseat Raphael Warnock with the low tier, not high quality candidates, low quality candidates? It's not going to happen. It's going to be tilt Democrat for now. He's an incumbent, bit of an incumbent advantage, but yeah. Pennsylvania, lean Democrat, mainly because it's John Fetterman running for the Democrats. He's lieutenant governor. Showed he had an 8-point lead against some Republicans, so I'm being generous by giving him a lean margin, sort of likely one. It's an open race because Pat Toomey decided not to run for re-election, decided to retire. So it's going to be very competitive. This is one race to watch in 2022. It's going to be very interesting. Wisconsin, that's an interesting case. I could see it possibly going other way, which makes me want to do it as a tilt Dem. Here's why. Ron Johnson, instead of being moderate, which is what you need to do to be is moderate here in Wisconsin. If you don't do that, you're probably not going to win. Ron Johnson decided to go super far right. He decided to say that Trump supporters, those people at the January 6th insurrection, were not Trump supporters. He decided to say they were Democrats, which is just laughable. Decided to just say that. That's ridiculous, but I feel like that would really hurt him there in that state, considering how moderate they are. And there's a lot of good Democrats running on that side. I mean, Tom Nelson's a strong candidate. He even shows in a poll Tom Nelson's beating Ron Johnson, so he's very weak right now, Ron Johnson. And that was the first time he was this weak, but this is a really tough race for him to win. If he decides not even to run for re-election, it would go to lean margin because Biden won this state in November simply. I mean, Republicans don't have a lot of good candidates if Ron Johnson doesn't run. It's all about candidate quality at the end of the day. But for now, I'm going to put it as tilt, and this is my Senate prediction. Thank you guys for watching, and just comment your opinions on my prediction, or just talk about your predictions in the comments too. Like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.